Today we continue with our class Laws of Shabbos, today class number 68. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. Page 186. The topic is a better deal. It is permissible to inform friends and neighbors of a store that they can obtain items of a better quality or a better price than the store where they usually shop. Okay, so you said they open your store, so go there. Okay, here two certain conditions have to be met. One should know the information firsthand. If one cannot verify the information firsthand, he would have to say, "I have heard that, but have not verified." Okay. He must be certain. Okay, we have Abraham with us. Okay, HaShem. So let me just quickly summarize for Abraham. Or let me just read from the beginning. It is permissible to inform friends and neighbors. Okay, one more time. All right. So let him join and we start. All right. It is permissible to inform friends and neighbors of a store where they can obtain items of a better quality or better price than the store where they usually shop. Okay, so clear case. So they open bingo in Brooklyn. Okay, so everybody go to bingo. Here, two certain conditions have to be met. One should know the information firsthand. So you check probably I would say multiple prices, not on one item that you like, right? So in order to make a statement that something is cheaper or better quality, it should be multiple items, not only one. Okay. One should know the information firsthand. If one cannot verify the information firsthand, he should have to say, "I heard," right? But have not verified that. Okay. He must be certain that the quality of the other merchandise is superior. Brand names are not necessarily better, but most of the time they are. Most of the time. Okay. Where there is a significant difference in price, one must verify that the less expensive item is not inferior in quality to the more expensive item. Okay, so basically you have to do the whole investigation, the price and quality before advising anybody. Okay. There must also be no suspicion that the preferred store is dealing in a stolen merchandise. As halacha prohibit purchasing stolen goods. I'm not sure how. I mean, I think it's always been the case that people thief would steal, and they would sell half a price or 30% of the price, and the smaller store would deal with that. I mean.
Rabbi, but how am I supposed to know with certainty that store doesn't steal?
No, it's not the store steal. It's they deal with stolen merchandise. So when the price is too low, that's I don't know, something that's supposed to cost a suit, right? The normal suit, I don't know how much, let's say $200 average. And he sells for 78, something so. Right? I mean, okay, it could be 25% discount. I know, but even you see, they cannot. If they sell suits, they cannot compete with Macy's or with other big guys. Yeah, in a sense. So when you see something like that, and plus you see that. The owner. So many times you just you look at the owners. Okay, I better leave. Doesn't matter, Okay. So merchandise. Okay, continue. In conveying the information, it is important not to imply that the first shopkeeper is overcharging or guilty of selling inferior products. One must convey the the pertinent information without being judgmental. So maybe he has, I don't know, paying higher rent, higher insurance. Maybe it was fire, right? I don't know, 2 years ago. So he tried to recover this over the fire expense. I don't know, all of the things. So don't as I said before, don't suspect that he's a crook just because he charging more. I mean, it's free world. You just go to a different place. That's it. Furthermore, since people often view high prices as negative way, okay, I always do, the information may be considered derogatory and could only be conveyed for a constructive purpose. Okay. So I mean, if the way I understand, if person is going to buy, but just to start the track of conversation, so they open this store and it's much cheaper than in your neighborhood, that would be Lashon Hara. Okay. Consequently, one may only relate information to people who may be interested in making a purchase. Discussing the matter for the sake of the making conversation might constitute Lashon Hara. Okay. So continuation 408. 1 second. Okay, so here's continuation. Finally, one should consider why he deems it necessary to relate the information altogether. Perhaps it would be better not to get involved and refrain from any actions which would affect the shopkeeper income. So I think in all of the situation, when you want to do something negative, just ask yourself, what are your motives? Why exactly you're involved in this? All right. All right, so we continue with laws of Shabbos today, and we are in the middle of the practical cases, practical examples of the melach of building. Okay, so I think we start small. Okay, so we started this piece of practical application of the prohibition against assembling utensils. Okay. Can somebody check? Did somebody wrote into our group or not?
Yeah, he said he can't come today. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so let's continue to the next one. Replacing a chair or a table leg. Okay. If a leg was detached from a chair or table, it may not be reinserted in a socket on Shabbos. Okay. This holds true even if they insert it loosely into the socket, since it is not made to fit loosely. This is forbidden. One may not tighten the screw on a loose chair leg or a table leg on Shabbos to keep it from falling off. Okay, so let's try to understand. So usually when in a chairs, right, when you put the leg, it should be stored. It should not move. Like so, loose connection. That's not how it was designed. Understand? In other things, it might be a loose connection, but not here. So same with chair, table, with all of the things, and we are talking about on Shabbos. So it fell off on Shabbos. So you're not allowed to insert on Shabbos. So when you're going to get to the muktzah part, right? So this leg would be muktzah. You're not allowed, would not be allowed to touch. That's classic example. There is no use for this leg, right? And chair would be also muktzah, the way I remember, right? Unless there is no leg. If leg is somewhere was lost 2 weeks ago, it's broken in half, then there is no problem. So we're not afraid that you're going to fix the chair. But if his leg is in the next to you, 5 feet from you, so we're afraid that the person is going to fix the chair. Okay. Number 6, caps for the furniture legs. It is forbidden to slide rubber or plastic caps made to absorb noise or protect floors into the legs of the chair or the table on Shabbos. So today they make it with like cell adhesive, but but also they have this rubber things and they put like on the bottom of the chair, on the chair leg, so it would not make noise and slide quietly. Okay, so of course it is a tight connection, tight attachment, so not allowed. Okay, and all of these are small utensils, as you understand, right? Small utensils, right? But a tight connection, so not allowed. Number 7, folding bed or table. Utensil that fold up may be open and closed on Shabbos. Therefore, one is permitted to set up a folding bed or table on Shabbos. However, one may not tighten screws or bolts to hold them in proper position. Okay, I mean the way I understand that. I mean, maybe in olden days there was some screws, but today there is no screws. Just folding. So whatever normal way of use is to fold chairs, table. There is no problem. Folding bed, no problem. Number 8, lowering and raising a stender. A stender that is made to be used at different heights. There is by unscrewing it, raising to the desired level, and then tightening the screw, may be raised and lowered on Shabbos, since this is the normal way of the use of the stender. It is not act of building. So let's try to understand, because I think that's the best example. Well, not the best, all of them are good, but basically, I don't know, nobody have videos, but okay, I hope you can see me. So the stender, so on the sides you have this these bolts, right, with the handles. So you unscrew, you raise whatever heights you need, and then you tighten the screw. Even though the connection is tight, for sure, 100% the connection is tight, but since, as the authors say, that's how it was designed to go up and down, so there is no problem. So I guess when he sits, he wants to lower it, so it would be convenient, the standard. And when he stands up, let's say for Shmones, so he wants to raise up. That's my guess. So it will be no problem. Continue. B, children's items. Number 1, crib. Right, a portable crib made up of separate pieces that require assembly, may not be assembled and disassembled on Shabbos. One is forbidden to raise a lower or lower the mattress of the crib on Shabbos by removing the pegs and reinserting them in a different notches. Okay, so first of all, crib. So you're not allowed to assemble, because usually the way I understand, maybe there are different designs, but usually you assemble them with the bolts, right? One problem. Second problem, so in order to put the mattress, right? So you have to put like this base, flat base, and on top you put mattress. So this base could be like go up and down. How you insert the pegs in all of the 4 corners? That's the problem, because they fit tightly. Of course, they fit tightly, and that's the issue. In case of a small crib, one is permitted to put in place the board that support the mattress, provided that the board simply lays on top upon the supports, but does not snap into a receptacle. Okay, since the board is made to fit loosely, its placement is not an act of the building. Okay, so let's try to understand. So it's a smaller crib, right? And it has, I think, only one height or something. So there is a base, and on base you put board, you put mattress, and you go. So basically, since this board that puts on top, it's movable, removable, so it does not feel tightly attached. So they say there is no problem, but it's only, as we said, these small cribs. However, where the crib is classed as a large utensil. So large utensil, we said what is 1 by 3 by 3 or 1 by 1 by 3. Oh, 48. Just 1 second. Let me check quickly. Yes, it's 1 by 1 by 3 amos. So 1 amma is, we said, approximately 2 feet. So 2 feet, yeah. 1 by 1 by 3. And for Israel is, they say the 0.33 to 0.57 cubic meters. Okay. So continue. So, but they say if it's a large utensil, right? One may not put this board in place on Shabbos. This is forbidden to attach even loose-fitting object to large utensil. So, but I mean, probably they're talking about bigger like bag. These clips are small. Actually, I don't know. Maybe fancy schmancy they're bigger. Okay, but it simply could be like 1 by 1, 2 feet by 2 feet by 3 feet. Very simple. Continue. Number 2, folding clips, play pans, strollers, pack and play. Folding utensils may be open and closed on Shabbos. Therefore, one is permitted to unfold portable clip, play pen, or a stroller. Here too, one may not tighten the bolts and screws to ensure that the utensil remain in that folded position. So wherever it's folded, you can unfold it, but no screws. Number 3, replacing the wheel of a stroller or a carriage. That's too much, right? It is forbidden to replace a wheel of a stroller or a carriage on Shabbos. So it fell off, you cannot basically put it back in. So continue. Number 4, Lego blocks. Some poskim permit Lego blocks to be used on Shabbos, even though they use they use entails joining different pieces. So I'm not sure. It says some poskim. I'm not sure how does it make sense, because they tightly attached and they're permanent. I'm not sure. Okay, but since some allow, so I mean, you can go with this opinion if necessary. Okay, next one, refrigerator. Replacing the door. If door fell off a refrigerator, it may not be replaced on Shabbos. I mean, of course. Okay, next one, replacing shelves. A large refrigerator is halachically regarded as a building. Therefore, one may not, one is forbidden to attach object to it even in a loose manner. Nevertheless, there is a room for leniency with regard to replacing the refrigerator shelf on Shabbos. For the shelves of a refrigerator are made to be removed and replaced. For example, for cleaning. Therefore, the milach of building does not apply. It's definitely permissible to remove and replace the fruit bin or vegetable bin of refrigerator on Shabbos. So, okay, so in many refrigerators, the shelves are adjusted, so you can go like put it high, put it lower. Depends what you want to put. Like you have a bigger pot, so you want to maybe lower the shelf so you have more space. So they say there is no problem because that's how they design. Okay. Number 3, one is forbidden to attach rubber suction hook to a refrigerator on Shabbos. Okay, I mean that's not. I'm not sure why they say only refrigerator. In general, all the suction cups not allowed. Okay. Next one, eyeglasses. It is forbidden to attach a temple to eyeglasses frame on Shabbos, even in a loose manner. With regard to replacing lenses that are popped up from out of the frame, see page 5 to 23. So we're going to get there. So a temple you're not allowed to attach because it's always attached in a tight manner. There is like if it's a metal one, it's a tiny screw, right? It's always tight. All right. So we finish with that milacha. Any questions on this milacha, or we continue? Okay, so we continue then. I'm on page 429. So just FYI. So today the set of these books are actually on sale. So for one day it's going to be 40% off. So I think $120 the whole set. Okay. So page 229, 429, and chapter 31, temporary oil. Right. The Torah oil is like a tent. The Torah prohibition against erecting an oil on Shabbos. As we explained in chapter 30, the previous one is forbidden by biblical law to erect permanent oil on Shabbos. Permanent, okay. This prohibition is talada of Av Milach of Baneh building. So oil is a talada. Talada, we said, is like derivative, right? It's same as a Milach. It's like parallel, right? It's a very similar activity to the building. Okay. Oil translated literally as a tent or a roof. So it's not only tent, but roof also. The prohibition is to erect a roof on Shabbos. For example, by pitching a tent. And not only, we're going to see very interesting practical application. A primary requirement of the biblical oil is that it be erected on a permanent basis. There is for more than a few days. So biblical prohibition on a permanent basis, more than a few days. And oil that is intended to stand only temporarily does not violate the biblical prohibition of oil. I mean, it's forbidden under rabbinical, but not biblical. Okay. Part number 2, rabbinical prohibition against erecting temporary oil on Shabbos. The sages enacted prohibition against erecting even a temporary oil on Shabbos. They were concerned that erecting temporary oil might lead to erecting a permanent one, which would violate the Torah prohibition. The prohibition of temporary oil has 2 parts. Number 1, erecting a roof, and number 2, erecting the walls. Okay. However, the main part of the oil is roof. Therefore, most violation of this prohibition involve creating a roof. In some instances, one violates the prohibition only if he creates both a roof and walls. In other, he needs to create only roof. In certain selected cases, one violates the prohibition by creating walls alone. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says. So first of all, oil as a tent, so it has 2 components. One is roof, and second one is walls. So we're going to see how many walls do you need and how they should attach to the roof. Maybe not so tightly. Okay, we will see. Right, so two components, and person violates a prohibition when he, in some cases, when he only creates a roof, meaning the way I understand, creates a roof, meaning that he had the walls and he just puts a roof, right? Or when he had a roof, it was suspended somehow, and he builds the walls under the roof. Also a problem. Let me create a roof. Okay, all right. So those are the instances. Continue. The image generally conjured up by the term a roof and walls is one of the building which with 4 walls and a roof. Right. It must be emphasized that insofar as the prohibition of oil concerned, the term are defined far more loosely. A roof, right? So it's not like 4 walls, you have a roof, like a building, it's not. Okay, more loosely, meaning what? A roof is any object suspended in the air at a certain distance from the ground. So it must be suspended, that doesn't matter how, right? I mean, we're going to see. And a certain measurement from the ground. Walls are any upright object of certain size. So of course there is minimum requirements, right? We will now elaborate the laws of the temporary oil. Okay. So A, and temporary roof. Number 1, the size of a roof. The prohibition against erecting temporary roof applies only to a roof that covers the area measuring at least 1 square tefach. 1 by 1 tefach. So tefach is a feet, right? So it's feast by feast. So that's I mean, I'm not such a big so I don't know, like this size. Yeah? So tefach is less than 4 inches. Some people say it's 4, like 3, like less than 4. Oh, okay, it says a tefach is a handbreadth. It's measured approximately 375 inches according to Hagon Rav Moshe Feinstein. Okay, yeah, from this I think there's some opinion said 4, plus minus. Okay, I think from 3.5 to 4 or almost 4. Okay, continue. Empty space beneath the roof. So so we got first condition, size of the roof. Not let's say to round up, so it's 4 by 4 inches. So not a big piece, right? Empty space beneath the roof. The prohibition of erecting temporary roof applies only where there is at least tefach of empty space beneath the roof. If there is a less than tefach of space beneath the roof, it is not halachically regarded as a roof, and is therefore not included in prohibition of oil. For example, one is permitted to spread a talbot cloth upon the table, right? Since there is no empty space between the cloth and the table, and the cloth is not regarded as a roof. So I think it's a very interesting example, very unexpected example. So you have a table, and you want to put a tablecloth. So tablecloth, like in under different circumstances, would be a roof, 100%, right? But since we said that we need something between the roof and the walls, right? So as we said, at least like under the roof, you need at least 1 tefach, which is 4 inches, which is I don't know, like this much, right? So this tablecloth, basically, it's not a problem. Understand? Which is very interesting. Continue. Number 3, the purpose of the roof. The prohibition against erecting the temporary roof varies according to the purpose of the roof serves. In this section, we'll set forth the rules governing these differences. The basic types of the roof are, right? Atu. Okay. A roof that is a use for a people and animal. B, a roof that is not used by people or animal. Okay, so now we're going into the subject of roof. So 2 types, one for people and animal, that's right, and one is not used for people and animal. I mean, I would guess for some kind of storage, right? You also need the roof. Okay. Okay, so a roof that is used for people or animals. A roof at tefach square that is intended for the use of the people or animals, for example, to afford protection from the sun or rain, is a full-fledged roof, 100%. Therefore, it may not be erected on Shabbos, even in the area it covers is not enclosed by the walls, or it is enclosed by the walls that were erected before Shabbos. So basically, there were walls before, so you cannot put roof because it's going to create protection for people or animals. Or, for example, it is suspended from something, I don't know, like from the top, right? It could be suspended from the top. An example of this sort of roof would be the mosquito net spread on top of the baby carriage. That's a good example. Because the net protects the person, it is a full-fledged roof. Therefore, it is forbidden, even though it has no walls under it. Halachically speaking, walls that do not reach the vision 3 tefachim of the ground are not regarded as walls. Okay, we're going to explain now a lot of information. It is for this reason that the sides of the carriage are not considered walls. Okay, so let me read this example, and we're going to explain line by line. Okay, example of this sort of roof would be mosquito net spread on top of the baby carriage. So you have this baby carriage, and on one hand, we call it a roof, but on another hand, it's a roof like in my, let's say, in my imagination, a roof is something on top. But we know it's not on top. It's like it goes maybe a little on top, but it goes down to close the baby from these mosquitoes, right? So roof is not always on top. Okay. Because the nets protect the person, it is full-fledged roof, right? So that's we agree. This net is to protect the baby. Therefore, it is forbidden even though it has no walls under it. So I mean, you can say, what do you mean that there is no walls under it? There is some kind of support. You have this hood, right, from the baby cage. You have the sides a little, even a little, right? So it is some kind of walls. But they say that halachically the walls are only if they're closer to the ground. So if they suspended in the air and suspended, they say 3 tefachim. So it's like 12 inches. Right, 12 inches. I think it's for maybe, I don't know, like maybe even like 30 centimeters plus minus. Okay, so meaning that if it's higher than 4 inches, 3 inches. I apologize. 3 tefachim. Okay, so I apologize. 3 tefachim. Yeah, but yeah, it's like 12 inches exactly. 3 tefachim. So if it's above that, okay. So if it's above that, above 3 tefachim, so if it's above 3 tefachim, so it's not considered to be a wall. And same conditions apply to sukkah basically. So sukkah walls must be to the bottom. Only then it is considered to be legit wall. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. B, a roof that is not used for people and animals. So first is roof that used for people and animal. So for oil, we are learning melacha of oil, meaning the tent. So we're discussing the subject of roof. So the tent consists of roof and walls. Okay, a roof that is not used for people and animals. This category encompasses 2 cases. Number one, where we use the space beneath the roof, for example, to store items. Okay, that's the roof to store items, as we said before, makes sense. And number two, where we generally do not use the space beneath the roof. Okay, so we'll need to see the examples when we usually don't store anything. Okay, number one, we're used to space beneath the roof. According to many authorities, a roof that is not used to offer protection to people or animals, but those underneath space is used for some other purposes, is prohibited only if the area beneath it is enclosed by 2 walls that face each other. The walls must be a tefach high and a tefach wide, and they must be erected on Shabbos. If any of these criteria is lacking, for example, the roof is held by narrow poles or less than a tefach, the prohibition of oil does not apply. Okay, so it's a lot of information. So let me read from the beginning and we go line by line. So one more time. So we're talking about we use the space between beneath the roof. Okay. So according to many authorities, a roof that is not used to offer protection for people or animal, but whose underneath space is used for some other purposes is prohibited only if the area is beneath is enclosed by 2 walls. So basically, if it's not used for people or animals, so you need 2 walls that face each other. So face each other, it could be, I don't know, like this, or maybe even like this. It's, I mean, no, I guess I'll face it like on 2 sides. That's what means face each other. The wall must be tefach high. So as we said, tefach is like 4 inches high. All right, so if it's too low to the ground, so it's not a wall. And the tefach white, so it's like this and this, so which is like serious support, right? And they must be erected on Shabbos. So if before Shabbos, it's not the case. If any of the criteria is lacking, meaning, for example, the roof is held by narrow poles, like on, I don't know, on the pencils, right? Or less than a tefach, right? Less than a tefach, meaning the smaller poles, less than a tefach, the prohibition of oil does not apply. This poskim reason that in order for the roof to be erected, so basically the way I understand this tefach wide is, it's considered to be a wall. So if you have like I don't know, like pencil wide, it's not a wall. So that's the way I understand the rationale. This poskim reason that in order for the roof to be included in rabbinic prohibition, it must bear some resemblance of the ordinary structure, such as house or a tent, like something, right? A roof that does not serve the people or animals and has no walls is completely different than other buildings. Therefore, it is not included in the prohibition. So if it has no walls, or the thin walls, or it's less than tefach, okay. A roof that has two facing walls, that's a different story, two facing walls, however, does resemble other buildings in to some degree. Such roof is prohibited, even if it does not serve people or animals. So if it has two walls and you put roof on top, that's yes, something like a building. Okay. Other authorities disagree. Okay. The rule that one is forbidden to erect on Shabbos any roof whose underneath space will be used, even if it has no walls. Okay. Or if its walls were erected before Shabbos. So basically, the second opinion is more stricter, of course, right? So they say no. If you're planning to use this space underneath the roof, that's always an issue, right? Even if it does not have walls. Or the walls were created on Shabbos. So even there is no walls, there is no problem with the walls whatsoever because they were erected before Shabbos. Preferably, one should follow the stringent view. However, in case of need, one may rely on the lenient view. And we're going to see, like, if I guess in the practical application, what would be the case. We have explained that according to the lenient view, the roof must have walls. The roof must have walls, and that were erected on Shabbos. Okay, one more time. We have explained that according to lenient view, this roof must have walls that were erected on Shabbos. This does not mean that the walls must be newly created on Shabbos. Okay, even walls that were in existence before Shabbos is considered to have been built on Shabbos, so long it was moved to a new location on Shabbos. That changes everything. So you have the walls, whatever was it, like you have a cardboard box, let's say open, right? And you moved it to another place. So it looks like it was in a living room. You move it to your dining room or wherever, to your bedroom. So now it's considered as you took you took walls, right, existing walls, and you move them to another location. It's like you built, in some case, in some sense, you build in double quotes these walls in another place. Very interesting. So one more time, even the wall wasn't existing before Shabbos, is considered to have been built on Shabbos so long as he moved the new location on Shabbos. If, however, the wall remained in their pre-Shabbos position, and the roof was simply placed upon them, there is no oil transgression. Oil is a tent, right? No oil transgression. Let's see why. This holds true only not only when the walls are separate entities that are erected opposite one another, but even when they are a single entity. Okay, so before that we said minimum required 2 walls. Now we said doesn't matter how many, 2 or all of the walls, right? They consider see the single entity. For example, one may not bring open box from one place to another and then place the covering upon it. I don't know, he had the, I guess like a smaller box. He received the package. The box is open, and then you want to put something on top of it, like let's say a bigger box. So now one box is in another, so in some sense you created a roof. One more time, for example, one may not bring an open box from one place to another and then replace the covering upon it. For the size of the box are regarded as the walls, 100%. Thus, one who moves it on Shabbos is in effect erecting walls. So, but if he erecting walls, it's one thing, but building a roof, it's a different thing. When he then covers the box, he has placed a roof onto the walls erected on Shabbos, which is unbelievable. Okay, so continue. Very interesting case. Who knew, right, about this box? Okay, continue. Number 2, where we generally do not use the space beneath the roof. So that's like a simpler case, right? I mean, they would need to give us example. A roof whose underneath space is not generally used for any purpose is prohibited only if it rests above 4 walls that were erected on Shabbos. One more time. A roof whose underneath space is not generally used. So, okay, not generally used for any purpose is prohibited only if it rests above the 4 walls that were erected on Shabbos. So in this case, 4 walls erected on Shabbos, and then he put on top this roof. Okay. If it has less than 4 walls, like 2 or 3 walls, it does not violate the prohibition of temporary oil. Thus, as one needs to step stool on Shabbos, one may not fashion one by placing board of the open box. Okay. By bringing the box from another place, one is considered to have created a walls on Shabbos. Although we have no use for the space beneath the board, this act violates the prohibition of oil, since the board rests on top of the 4 walls. Okay, I think I have an example for this. So I have you need to get something from a top shelf, like above the cabinet. You have storage above the cabinet, so you cannot reach. So you need some step, and you don't have one. Okay. And you don't have this step stool, basically. So you can take this. So the case they explain, you have a milk crate. You know, guys, what milk crate? Like plastic box, right? A sturdy box. So you can step on it. I think even I can step on it. It's very sturdy. But they say they put it upside down, so that the flat side on the ground, and on top of it, he wants to put a board, like piece of plywood, whatever, some shelf, and he wants to stand on top of it and then reach to the cabinet. So first of all, he said he brought this box from somewhere. So as soon as you move it even a little, so it's like it's already in a new location. When you put it upside down, turn it upside down, you already created 4 walls. And now when you put on top this piece of plywood, so it's you created a roof, and the space, the box is empty, right? The milk crate is empty. So, and space is not used for anything, not for storage, not for people, nothing, right? So that's this example is about. Okay. Continue. Number 4. Permissible methods of making temporary roof on Shabbos. Okay. A, erecting roof before supports. If one erects temporary oil by first setting up a roof and then erecting walls or supports below it, it has not violated the prohibition of oil. This leniency applies both in the case of the roof that requires walls to be prohibited. There is a roof that is not used for people and animals. And in the case of the roof that is prohibited, even without the walls. There is a roof made for the use of the people and animals. Thus, if one person holds the roof in the air and the second person places the walls or poles beneath it, they have not violated the prohibition of oil, since they have assembled the roof in reverse order. Okay, so let's stop here, go to the beginning, and we're going to now explain line by line what he's saying. So now he's saying permissible methods of making temporary roof on Shabbat. So first of all, we say temporary, it's already rabbinical, right, as we said before. Now we're saying that erecting roof before support. So usually how you build the house, you build the first walls, then on top you install the roof. So here we say if you reverse the order, it's like a shina, right? Not normal way of doing things. So one more time. If one erects the temporary oil, but first setting up the roof, so setting up the roof, the way he explained here, somebody's holding this roof. So it's not a big thing, right? So he's holding the roof, one person. And then erecting the walls. And second person builds the walls, and that's it. So basically these walls are touching the roof. Okay, and then erecting the walls that's or supports below. So whatever is it, like poles, if it's 4 by 4 inches, there is no problem, right? It's also considered a wall. He has not violated the prohibition of oil, meaning what? That he built first roof and then added walls. This leniency applies both in the case of roof that required walls to be prohibited, right? So meaning what? So not every roof required walls, but this one does. They say there is a roof that has not use for people or animals, like we spoke about this box, right? This milk crate, right? And in the case of the roof that is prohibited, even without walls, right? So, for example, a roof that made for use people or animals, so even if it's suspended somewhere, right? Thus, if person holds the roof, one person holds the roof, and in the air, right? And the second person places walls or poles beneath it, right? So it's, as we said, it's a reverse order. They have not violated the prohibition of oil, since they have assembled the roof in reverse order. Accordingly, although it is generally prohibited to spread a mosquito net over the baby carriage on Shabbos, since doing so creates a protective roof, as we said, that's the first case for people and animals, in this case for a baby. This may be done if one person holds the net in the air while another person pushes the carriage under the net. In this case, the roof is created before this supports, which is permitted. So it's, I think it's brilliant case, right? So we call it a roof. This net we call a roof that protects this baby, right? So you cannot put it on the carriage, but if one person holds the roof in place, another person pushing the baby carriage under it, so it's like so they say that's basically the solution. Okay, continue. Adding to an existing roof. So let's see if let's see 1 second. Okay, yeah, we can. Okay, adding to existing roof. A rabbinic prohibition of making a temporary roof is limited to the creation of a new roof. Adding to an existing roof, however, is permitted. So let's read one more time and explain. Rabbinic prohibition of making a temporary roof is limited to the creation of a new roof. Adding to already existing roof is, however, is permitted. Meaning that when you need to like pull something, right? So stretch, so it would be permitted. This permit applies only if the extended roof measure at least tefach. So meaning that the existing roof has to be out like this 4 inches tefach. If, however, it measures less than a tefach, it is not considered roof. Okay, it's not considered roof. Therefore, its existence does not permit the adding of another section. So, meaning if it was extended, like pull out a little, so you can continue extending on Shabbos. If not, so it's less than a tefach, it's considered a building a new roof. Thus, if one wishes to cover sukkah on Shabbos, that's what we do on Shabbos, by unrolling the tarpaulin, one must make certain that at least one tefach of trampoline was unrolled before Shabbos. If it was done, he may unroll it completely on Shabbos. So that's what we do. We leave like 2 tefachim, like on the side of the sukkah. So we're always allowed to unroll it. Okay. So comment here. We're referring to the case in which the tarpaulin does not rest directly on a skach. Does not. Okay. Apple, yeah, of course. If, however, it rests directly on a skach, the prohibition of making temporary oil does not apply. The temporary roof does not apply, since there is no tefach open space between the roof and skach. So, as we said, the roof. One of the definitions of the roof is that you have some space underneath the roof of tefach. Okay, so they say if this trampoline is on this plastic, basically, right? This plastic is on the top of the skach, there is no problem. Okay, that's what we have. Like it's on the top of the skach, right? But in other cases, when it's like above the skach, so you need to pull it out. That's a different story. So you need one tefach. Okay, continue. The new section added to the existing roof must be put in place as an extension of the original roof. Okay, so it's only as extension, but as we said, if it's not lying on top of the skach. For example, one who unrolls tefach of tarpaulin over the sukkah may begin expanding the roof from the point at which the tefach ends. So from that you can like continue stretching. There is he may continue unrolling the trampoline that was opened before Shabbos, or he may lay a new trampoline alongside the open tefach. Okay, so I mean you can extend, you can stuff like this or like that. However, he may not begin spreading out trampoline from the other side of the sukkah, which is not covered at all before Shabbos. So you need you can only like continue wherever you start before Shabbos. You cannot like start from the different side. The permit of adding to existing roof does not apply where the covering is wound into a roll. Covering wound into a roll, and the roll itself is a tefach wide. Since the covering was not spread out, there is no pre-existing roof. For the roll itself is not regarded as a roof. So basically, the roll is so tight, but it's less than a tefach. I guess if it's very thin, so and it's like a regular plastic, it's very possible to make it very tight and less than a tefach. So they say in this case it's not a roof. Interesting. So I mean in a roof that you can actually extend. Okay, not a roof that you can actually extend. Okay. Okay, so let me read the last sentence so we have continuation. and I guess we stop here. Too much of technical information. Right? The permit of adding to an existing roof does not apply where the covering is wound into a roll that and the roll itself is a tefach wide, right? So it's too small. It's not considered to the roof to begin with, right? Since the covering was not spread out, there is no pre-existing roof, and the roll itself is not regarded as a roof because it was never like opened up or never like spread out. Rather, the permit applies only where the tefach of the covering was spread out before Shabbos. Okay. The spread out covering forms of roof. The spread out covering forms of roof. One is permitted to add to existing roof on Shabbos. So only, as we said before, you can add, but you cannot create the new roof. Add meaning it was open up on tefach, and it's 4 inches, and you can extend it. Okay, we stop here because I think it's even for me too much technical information. So any questions, any subject, please go ahead.
Yes. So what's it called for dairy? We wait 30 minutes, right? From dairy to meat.
Some people wait, yes.
Uh-huh.
Some people from dairy to meat, you can just rinse your mouth and eat something like hard, and you can eat dairy. But most people wait for 30 minutes. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. What's it called? But I heard that I saw that if I wait for 30 minutes, I don't have to eat something parv or anything. I can just go eat, right?
Exactly. Yes. So Rabbi, I told you if you want to eat right away, that's what we do on Shavuos. On Shavuos, there is the tradition to eat milcha, right? So you eat like cheesecake. What do we eat there, right? Daily. You eat basically daily. But for a Shavuos day, the first day for sure, right? So, but it says that on holidays you have to eat meat, right? Meat. So basically, we do like shorter meal. We start meal, right? We go wash our hands. We do shorter meal on dairy, and then there are different customs how to extend this meal, make 2 separate meals. But basically, you can eat almost right away.
So because I have to wear the rubber bands with my braces, the rubber bands, I don't have to rechange them. Like I can use the same ones if they're in my mouth for 30 minutes.
Yes. But I would say rinse your mouth for sure, because you see, the rubber bands, maybe this rubber would be like more absorbent. I don't know. So just in case, to be on the safe side, you use a mouthwash, for sure it's going to be good according to all of the opinions.
And also if I brush my teeth first, then put on the rubber band.
Yeah. Yes. But brush your teeth also. But there is a problem. I know that you know, but to remind all of us that there is a problem brushing teeth on Shabbos with a toothbrush because prohibition of squeezing. So we're afraid that the person would squeeze the water from the brush. So some people brush with a dry brush without any water. Some people will put fill their mouth with water and brush like inside. And then, but when you take out the brush from your mouth, don't squeeze it. Don't squeeze it. Just put it in a hole, and that's it. You understand? That's if you're going to do like that, it would be good.
Understood.
What else? Any other questions? Anybody? Israel? Too quiet today. No? Okay. So we stop here then. And until tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, same time, 8:30. Please join us. Good night until tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Good night.
רגע.
אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל אשר יפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו עוד לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
מיאמי.
כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית.
חזק אותו בשמי.
קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעביר לו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
כן.